What if some of the most powerful medicines on Earth were hiding in your kitchen the entire time? For thousands of years, ancient civilizations used plants, herbs, spices, and natural remedies to heal the body long before modern medicine existed. And now, modern science is beginning to confirm something incredible. Many of these ancient plants actually work. In today's video, you'll discover 10 more powerful ancient plants that may support immunity, heart health, digestion, metabolism, blood sugar, brain function, and even mental wellness naturally. From garlic and cinnamon to saffron and grapes, these everyday plants contain hidden compounds with effects that continue to amaze researchers today. Some may already be in your home, but after this video, you'll never look at them the same way again.
Rue. If you've never heard of it, that's not surprising. It's not commonly used today, and there's a reason for that. Rue is bitter, very bitter, and historically it was used in extremely small amounts. Ancient healers didn't use this casually, they used it carefully for inflammation, for digestive issues, and even for certain infections. But here's the interesting part. Modern science confirms that rue contains active compounds that interact strongly with the body, not mildly, not gently, but noticeably, which explains why it worked, and also why it could be dangerous if misused. This plant teaches an important lesson. Not everything natural is automatically safe. Some remedies are powerful tools, and tools need knowledge to be used correctly. Ancient people understood this, they respected it, and maybe that's something we've lost over time. Now let's shift to something much more familiar. Coriander. You probably know it as a garnish, something sprinkled on food for flavor. But underneath that simple appearance, there's something much deeper going on. Coriander has been used for thousands of years to support digestion, but modern research has uncovered something more surprising. It may help regulate blood sugar. That's a big deal, because blood sugar isn't just about diabetes, it affects your energy, your mood, your cravings, and even your long-term health. Studies suggest coriander can improve insulin function, help lower blood glucose levels, support heart health. And here's what makes it fascinating. Most people are already eating it. They just don't realize what it's doing behind the scenes. It's a perfect example of hidden medicine, something small doing something significant.
Now let's talk about another everyday spice, cumin. It's been used for thousands of years in cooking across multiple cultures. But like many of these plants, its real power goes beyond flavor. Modern research shows cumin may help improve digestion, support weight management, regulate blood sugar. But here's what's really interesting. It may actually influence your metabolism, the way your body processes energy, the way it burns calories, the way it stores fat. That's not a small effect. That's a foundational system in your body. And yet, it can be influenced by something as simple as a spice you sprinkle on food. This is where things start to shift, because you begin to realize health isn't just about big changes, it's about small inputs, repeated consistently. Now we get to one of the most powerful plants on this list, garlic. This one isn't subtle. It's strong, it's pungent, and it's impossible to ignore. But that intensity, that's exactly where its power comes from. Garlic has been used for centuries as a natural remedy for infections. Ancient soldiers even carried it into battle, not as food, but as protection against disease. And today, science backs it up. Garlic contains a compound called allicin, and allicin is incredibly potent. It has been shown to fight bacteria, combat viruses, support the immune system, lower blood pressure. In fact, some studies suggest garlic can be as effective as certain antibiotics in specific situations. Let that sink in. A natural substance with effects comparable to modern medicine. But here's the key detail most people miss. Garlic only activates its full power when it's crushed or chopped. That's when allicin is released. So even how you prepare it changes its effectiveness. It's not just what you use, It's how you use it. Now let's talk about something even more overlooked: onions. They're everywhere, in almost every kitchen, used in countless dishes. And because they're so common, they're often underestimated. But onions are loaded with a powerful compound called quercetin. Quercetin is an antioxidant, and not just any antioxidant, one that has been studied for its effects on inflammation, immune function, heart health. It helps your body fight stress at a cellular level, which means it supports your system in ways you can't immediately see, but definitely feel over time. Ancient cultures used onions constantly, not occasionally, not as a trend, but as a staple. And now it makes sense why. Because sometimes the most powerful things are the ones we've normalized. Let's pause for a second, because this is where things usually click for people. We're not talking about rare herbs anymore. We're talking about foods you probably already eat: garlic, onion, cumin, coriander. So here's the real question. Are you using them intentionally or just randomly? Because there's a difference. Drop a comment below. Which one do you use the most? And after hearing this, does it change how you see it? Now let's move into something a little more mysterious: balm resin. This isn't something you'll find in every kitchen, but historically, it was considered extremely valuable. It was extracted from certain trees and used as a healing agent, especially for wounds, inflammation, and skin damage. People applied it directly to the body, and over time, it built a reputation, not just as a remedy, but as a symbol of healing itself. Now, modern research on similar plant resins shows something interesting. They contain compounds that reduce inflammation, promote tissue repair, and protect against infection, which explains why these resins were so highly valued. They worked. And when something works consistently over time, it becomes more than just a treatment. It becomes a legacy. Now we're about to get into the final group, and this is where everything comes together. Because the next few plants don't just support your health, they directly influence major systems in your body: blood sugar, brain function, heart health, and one of them was once worth more than gold. Another is now being studied as a natural alternative to antidepressants, and the final one might be one of the most powerful heart protective foods ever researched.
Now we get to the one I mentioned earlier: cassia. This isn't just any spice. In ancient times, it was so valuable, it was traded like gold. Think about that. Not for taste, not for luxury, but because people believed it had real power. And now, science is starting to explain why. Cassia is closely related to cinnamon, but it has a stronger concentration of active compounds. Modern research shows it may improve insulin sensitivity, lower blood sugar levels, help regulate metabolism. And this matters more than most people realize, because blood sugar isn't just about diabetes. It affects your energy levels, your hunger, your fat storage, your long-term health. When your blood sugar is unstable, everything feels off. But when it's balanced, your body runs smoothly. So the fact that something as simple as a spice can influence that system is powerful. Ancient people didn't have glucose monitors, but they had observation. And clearly, they noticed something important. Now, let's take that one step further. Cinnamon. This is one of the most studied spices in the world. And unlike many health trends, this one actually holds up under scientific scrutiny. Cinnamon has been shown to stabilize blood sugar, reduce inflammation, support heart health. But what makes it truly interesting is how it works. Cinnamon interacts with your body at a metabolic level. It influences how your cells respond to insulin, which directly affects how your body processes energy. In simple terms, it helps your body use fuel more efficiently. And when your metabolism works better, everything else improves: energy, weight regulation, even mental clarity. And yet, this isn't some rare compound. It's something you can find in almost any kitchen. That's the pattern we keep seeing, isn't it? The most powerful tools are often the most accessible. Now, this one is different. Not about digestion, not about inflammation, but about something just as important: your mind. Saffron. It's one of the most expensive spices on earth. Gram for gram, more valuable than gold in some cases. And for a long time, people thought that was just because it's hard to harvest, which is true, but not the whole story, because saffron does something remarkable. Modern studies show it may help with depression, anxiety, mood regulation, cognitive function. And here's where it gets really interesting. Some research suggests saffron may be comparable to certain pharmaceutical antidepressants. Let that sink in. A natural plant having similar effects to lab-developed medication. Now, that doesn't mean it replaces treatment, but it does raise an important question. How many natural compounds have we overlooked because they didn't come in a pill bottle? Saffron shows us something powerful, that mental health support can come from unexpected places, tiny threads with massive impact. And finally, we end with something simple, something familiar, something almost everyone has eaten: grapes. At first glance, they don't seem special, but inside grapes is a compound called resveratrol, and this compound has been studied extensively. Why? Because of its connection to heart health. Research shows resveratrol may reduce inflammation, improve blood circulation, protect blood vessels, support longevity. And here's something fascinating. It may help explain a well-known mystery. In certain regions of the world, people consume relatively rich diets, yet have surprisingly low rates of heart disease. One theory: their consistent intake of foods rich in resveratrol, including grapes. And this brings everything full circle, because it highlights something simple. Health isn't always about extreme changes. It's about consistent inputs. Small things, done regularly, that create long-term results. So what does all of this tell us? It tells us something most people never stop to consider. Ancient knowledge wasn't random. It wasn't guesswork. It was built on observation, on trial and error, on real-world results, repeated over generations. People didn't need microscopes to notice patterns. They saw what worked. They passed it down. And now, modern science is catching up, confirming, testing, and explaining what humans have known for thousands of years. These plants aren't magic. They're not instant cures, but they are powerful. And more importantly, they're accessible. Many of them are already in your kitchen, sitting there, waiting to be used with intention. So, now I want to ask you something. After seeing all of this, does it change how you look at food, at plants, at the things you use every single day? Because it should. If this opened your eyes, hit that like button, and in the comments, tell me which one of these surprised you the most, and which one are you actually going to start using. Make sure you subscribe, because we're just getting started. The more you understand your body, the less you have to rely on guesswork, and the more control you have over your health.